Hi everyone, this is Frank DeRose, bass instructor at the School of the Blues. What you just saw and heard was me playing along with a great song called Sharp Harp. This song featured the Root 5 bass style that is common in many blues songs. This Root 5 bass style sometimes is called a country bass style, sometimes it's referred to as a two-beat bass style, but it needs to be in our toolbox of bass parts that we play. When we add this to the root note bass style that we learned in the previous video, now we have our first two building blocks of blues bass playing. In future videos, we're going to add additional building blocks. In my personal lessons with my students locally, we refer to this as the toolbox. A bass part like this is fundamental. And later on in this video, we're going to do a bonus feature where I'm going to play this bass style to Blues Before Sunrise, and I'm going to embellish it a little bit, show you how we can play some ghost notes and some pickup notes, and how the Root 5 bass part really has a great character. So just hang on a moment and I'll get set up and we'll learn and play along with Sharp Harp. Before we get started playing, I thought I'd take a couple of moments here and use the whiteboard to help everyone understand the relationship between the root and the fifth. This is especially helpful for beginning players and some intermediate players that have not yet perfected the relationship between the notes or the intervals between the notes. So here in this example, we're assuming we're at the 3rd fret, and here on the low E string, if we were playing in the key of G, that would be our root note. The 5th is one string higher, so we go to the A string, and then it's 2 frets up. That's the D note. G is the root, D is the 5th of G. So, bum, bum. The root, we go higher to the 5th. Unless we were playing a 5-string bass, we would not have a 5th lower than that G. From G, if we were to go to the 4, C, C would be right here on the 3rd fret of the A string. The 5th can be played below that C, which is the G, right here. So root 5th. Now, in the example above, if the 5th was also one string up and 2 frets up from that C, that G note would be right here. 5th fret of the D string. So when we're playing our root note off of the A string, we have two options to play the 5th of that chord. We can go the string lower in the same fret, or we can go a string up and 2 frets up and play the 5th. So now, let me get my bass back on and we'll play along with Sharp Harp. All right, let's play some blues. This song, you're going to have to retune your bass a little bit because it's in between F and E. So you have to tune a little flatter, and we're going to play it in the key of F. So we're going to play F here at the 8th fret of the A string. And the 5 note for that is the C note at the 8th fret of the E string. So we're playing, that's the sound we're playing. Now, this song has one of the first connector riffs we're going to learn to play. So from F in the fourth measure, we're going to play a descending F7 walking bass line. We're going to play right into the 4, the B flat. So we're going right down the F7 scale. And when we walk down, for many people, including myself, it's easier to think we're starting on 8 and going 8, flat 7, 6, 5, and we're right into the 4. So 8, flat 7, 6, 5, 4. Now, in this position, playing that B flat lower than the F, we go up to the 5 for that B flat, which happens to be that F note that we started on. So root and 5 on the B flat, and then we're back to the F. Then for the 5 and 4, we just play the root notes. And then back to the 1. And then it turns around and everybody hits the 5 on the chord right there, and we're back to the 1. So this is a 12-bar blues, no quick change. There is a turnaround, but the bass does not walk to turn around. It just hits that 5 in the last measure, the second half of the last measure. So let me cue up the player, and we're going to play the opening 12 bars, and then we'll move on to Blues Before Sunrise. We'll try it to that. So here we go. There's the 1 and 5. Now play that walk. 4, and back on the 1. Now we're going to do 5, 4. 5, 4, to the 1. And back to the 1, and we're cycling through. That's how we do a root and 5 bass line. What a great song. What a fun bass part. Root and 5, also known as a country style bass line, and as I said earlier, in many circles, it's known as a 2-beat bass line. So now let me retune. We'll get set up again, and we'll play along with the bonus track, Blues Before Sunrise. Now it's time for Blues Before Sunrise. Open the tab, and as you see, it's written in the straight ahead, country style root 5 bass line. I'm going to play through 24 bars. The first 12 I'll play just like it's written. The second 12 I'm going to enhance it a little bit. So for those of you that did not learn this song in the first video, you can go back to the first video because I explain the introduction and the turnaround. So now let me kick off the player, and we can get started playing Blues Before Sunrise in that country style bass line. Rockin' Eric Clapton song played with a country style root 5 bass line. It is fun. It is a great bass part. You can really embellish, and I only begun to scratch the surface. So I'll be back in a moment with some final thoughts. All right, that was fun. What a great bass line. Root in 5 creates a great groove. Many bass players don't use this part. Many bass players probably don't even realize that it is an appropriate, authentic, foundational bass part that we all should be playing. So now we add this root in 5 bass style to the root note bass style that we learned in our last video. And in upcoming videos, I'm going to teach you some more of the foundational bass parts. So until I see you again, keep on thumping that bass. Bye for now.